Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I pray that you're all in the best of health and iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I am a certified relationship and trauma-informed coach with a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, and I help women to heal from their past relational trauma, and I also help them to deal with their past relationship issues. So if you're interested in being coached in any of those areas, you can find me over on my website, which I will leave linked in the description box down below. Today, ladies, we are talking about the number one best relationship advice I can give you as a certified relationship coach if I had to. And that number one best advice is focus on your personal growth. Ladies, take it from someone who's had to learn the hard way. I feel like my life's journey is just different chapters of me having to learn different lessons, most of which are coming through the relationships in my lives, whether it be friends or family or men. I say this to ladies, especially for single ladies, but also absolutely for married ladies, because a lot of the problems we have in our relationships, I believe, they come with lessons that we're supposed to be learning as we go along, so that we develop into wise women who fear God, who apply what we know about God. And so it builds us up to the woman God has designed for us to be, so that by the time we meet our Lord, we meet him in a good state. And of course, none of us know when our time is going to be up. So we're literally always trying to self-develop and self-improve, or at least I hope so. But when it comes to having better relationships, the more you grow as a woman, the more you get to learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. The more you grow as a woman, the more you know who you are, first and foremost. And so confidence follows. Self-assurance follows. Not being desperate follows. Trusting in God follows. And so you grow into somebody that a lot of people want to be around. Much of our relationship issues is because there is a part of us that is still immature. There is a part of us that has so much room for growth and so much room for development. If only we actually pay attention to that and we engage in this personal development and this personal growth. Think about it. Much of the people in your life that you actually admire, let's say the top 3 people in your life that you admire, if you really think about them, they are always constantly growing. They're never really stagnant. There's something that they are always doing that always takes them to the next level. That is because life is for the living. Life is there to teach us certain lessons. Life is there for us to implement what we're learning so that we actually become better people. And in the wisdom of God, the way he's made us human beings is that we can never be perfect, which is great in my opinion, because it always means that there will always be room for growth. And a lack of understanding of this is a problem that a lot of arrogant people have, because they think, I have arrived. So who are you to self-correct me? I've arrived. I'm here already. And there is no that here. We're always going to be continuing to grow. So whether a child corrects you if you're wrong in something, or somebody younger than you has to teach you as an older person something you didn't even realize, it's okay. It's okay. Lessons come from different experiences and from different people in our lives. Among those lessons you should be learning and ways that you should be self-developing, it's really identifying who you are. Who are you? If I'm to ask you the question, who are you? Would you really know who you are? Some of us have made so many random decisions that haven't served us, that sometimes we look ourselves in the mirror, we're just like, I don't even know this person is that I'm looking at. I don't recognize her. Who is she? I thought I was this, that, and the other person, but all of my actions are showing something else. And so I don't even recognize myself anymore. And that is because we're leaving ourselves stagnant. Amongst those lessons could also come learning how to teach people how to treat you and what you will and will not accept. Life, we cannot control others. You cannot make somebody else do what you want them to do. Believe me, even your own child, there's going to come a day when your child is like, you cannot make me do this. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it. And they have an absolute right, because Allah has given every single human choice. And sometimes we want people in our lives to get to certain places. We want them to behave in certain ways. And we forget that Allah has given everybody choice. And you cannot take people's choices away from them. But what you can do is utilize that own choice to make your decision about what you allow and what you don't allow. What you put up with and what you don't put up with. You have that choice to do that. And so in your learning and growing and development, learning to set effective boundaries becomes one of the focuses of your life. After you learn about who you are, you will learn and understand why you may even find it difficult to set boundaries with people. And so it continues to unravel. It's like an onion. You peel off another layer, you see another layer. You peel off one layer, you see the next layer underneath. You peel that layer, there's another layer. You peel that layer, there's another layer, until you get to the core. And that's how us human beings are. So learn who you are. Learn how to set effective boundaries. The next thing that I will suggest that comes under this umbrella of personal development is learning to understand relationships. You know, you can sit here and watch all of these videos and everything I'm saying can sound so perfect. But when it comes to your own personal relationships in life, you realize how challenging this is to achieve. But it is important that you lead life being aware, being conscious, analyzing things so that you're picking off the lessons that you should be learning. Because until you learn to do that, life will present you with the same issues over and over and over again. This person is exactly like my mother and I was trying to avoid my mother. This person is exactly like my dad. This new man that I've met is exactly like my ex-husband. How did I end up in the place that I said I would never? Because you've been missing the lessons along the way. And so awareness really helps you to do that. And so learn from other people's relationship lessons. If people have relationship lessons to teach you, really learn from it. Especially if you're someone who is maybe really young or you lack experience in life and you're just like, I don't really know what all of this stuff is about. Literally, listening is a start and it can teach you a lot. But if you get lost along the way, there is help. There is help. There are so many relationship coaches out there. But when it comes to us Muslims, I will always say, go to a Muslim relationship coach. That is my job. But there are also other Muslims. Just make sure the person's Islam is on point. Because there are a lot of people who are using hijab to cover up something else that they're selling to people that is really against the deen. So be very careful about that. But focus on learning about relationship. Pick up the lessons you've learned from your past relationships. And make sure next time when you're starting another relationship, you apply those lessons to that relationship and that you are careful. Not that you're overly obsessed about it, but you're careful. Learn to develop your relationships with others. Learn to develop your communication skills. That also is very, very, very important. Till this day, I know the part of my communication skill that still needs help, a lot of help. And every time I'm faced with an issue, I'm consistently like, oh, okay, it's showing up again. I still need to keep working on that. I really need to keep focusing on that. I know I'm never going to be perfect at it because I've accepted that as an imperfect human being, this is probably just one of my flaws. But I'm not going to give up working on it. I'm going to continue working on it. And that is a growth mindset. If you don't have a growth mindset, a lot of people are just like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And it's actually like the person you are, it's not the person you can be. You're like here, and the person you can be is up here. Why not grow? Why not get to that person that you can be? Because over here are all of the abundant opportunities that await for you. And so just saying, this is who I am, take it or leave it, you may find that a lot of people may just not take it and they may just exit. So learn effective communication skills. I have my femininity group over on Patreon, and I've been speaking so much about communication in the last couple of months, just drumming it into the ladies over there so that they learn how to effectively communicate with others, so that it reduces conflict and problems, So that too will help. Finally, under this umbrella of your personal development is learning to maintain a sense of independence no matter what stage of life you're in. If you're a single woman, you might be thinking, oh, this is easy for me. But for the women who are married, for the women who are really strongly attached to other people, this may be quite challenging. It's like a lot of us women, we get attached to somebody and we forget everybody else in our lives. And it's like, no, make time to touch base with yourself. What makes you an individual? What gives you joy as a person? A lot of us will describe ourselves as mothers, as wives, and every identity that we have is attached to somebody else. And I don't always think that that's a bad thing, because at the end of the day, we're always attached to somebody. Even if you're not married, you came from your mother, so you're a daughter, right? But learning to really have that sense of independence is going to be super important for you. Why? Because you never want to be fully dependent on anybody else, because it leaves you in a vulnerable state. I think the position that a lot of women have reached now of this like independent woman, I don't need a man, all came from the previous generation, the women in that generation trying to teach their daughters, please learn some independence so that you're never fully dependent on a man, right? And so they took it to the next extreme. It was like, I don't need a man, I can do without him, I'm good to go, I'm good enough. You are good enough. And to some extent, that mentality can be healthy to some extent. But where it gets unhealthy is when you really think that you don't need a man, period. We all need people in our lives. But having that sense of some level of independence just means that when that other person is having their bad day, or they're showing bad attitude and they are someone with bad character, it just means that their opportunity to abuse you is limited. Imagine if you are completely 100% financially dependent on someone, and for some reason something possesses them and they start abusing you. You have nothing to even physically escape that environment, to go and maybe rent an Airbnb for 2 days for your safety, to jump on a bus and get to your parents' home for a safety, to buy a plane ticket back to your home country for your safety. You have nothing. Those are the kind of abusive situations that you prevent yourself from being in by ensuring that you always have something of your own, by ensuring that you have that some level of independence. So if someone leaves your life and they're thinking by them leaving your life, they have destroyed you, actually you grow and you thrive after they leave, because you can go back to the person who you were before you attached yourself to that person. You knew what that independence looked like for you. So I really do believe that having that sense of independence is really, really good, because also when we feed into ourselves, it just makes us more positive people, and we have more positive vibes to give to our husbands and our children and our fathers and our mothers and our siblings. We just come across more happier because we are taken care of, right? Women always have this need to be the sacrificial lamb for everybody else's happiness. And part of this lesson of independence is me teaching you ladies that you need to learn to also prioritize yourself. You matter. If you've loved this video, but you're thinking deep inside, I have so many issues going on internally, I don't know how to change those things, then perhaps my trauma healing membership is for you. I will leave the link in the description box down below for you to join if you want to do your inner work, you want to heal so that you can have more positive relationships. Thank you so much, ladies, for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with other women so that they too can benefit from the content of today's video. I will see you in my next one. Assalamu alaikum.